everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. In this episode, we are going to discuss one of the most important foundation in the cloud computing, access control and authentication.
Every day we use smartphones, banking apps, social media, college portals, cloud storage, and online services. Behind all these systems, authentication and access control silently protect our information.
Without these mechanisms, any person could access the system, steal information, or misuse sensitive data.
Basically, the internet will become a giant unlocked hostel room where everyone keeps entering without knocking.
Exactly. So today we will deeply understand authentication, access control, their types, methods, advantages, challenges, and real-world applications.
What is authentication?
Authentication is the process of verifying the user's identity of the user, device, or the system before access is granted.
In simple words, authentication checks whether a person is genuinely who they claim to be.
When you go into this email account using a username and password, this still takes your credentials and your stored information.
In the information matches, access is granted, otherwise access is denied.
Authentication is important system security because it prevents unauthorized users from entering secure environments.
Importance of authentication. Authentication is essential for modern systems store highly sensitive data such as financial records, personal information, media records, organizational data.
Without authentication, anyone could access the that information.
Authentication provides confidence and protect systems against cyber threats.
It also helps the organization maintain accountability because systems can identify which users perform a specific activity.
This becomes extremely important in banking systems.
This becomes extremely important in banking systems, cloud computing, government services, and corporate environments.
Password-based authentication.
In most common authentication method is password-based authentication.
User enters a username and passwords to verify identity.
Passwords are simple, easy to implement, which is why they are widely used.
However, big passwords create major security risks.
Hackers often use brute force attacks, dictionary attacks, or credential theft to crack passwords.
And some of people still use passwords like password 123, password 1234, password @123. Cyber criminals probably see that start celebrating immediately.
Strong password should contain uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols.
One-time password authentication.
One-time password, also called as OTP, are temporary password valid for only one session.
OTPs are usually sent through SMS, email, WhatsApp, authentication apps, etc.
Even if someone tells user permanent password, they still cannot log in without the OTP.
This adds an additional security layer and reduces the risk of unauthorized access.
Many online banking systems heavily rely on OTP authentication.
Biometric authentication.
Biometric authentication verifies identity using physical or behavioral characteristics.
These examples include such as fingerprints, facial recognition, iris scanning, and voice recognition.
Biometric systems are heavily sequenced. Biometric traits are unique for each individual.
Modern smartphones commonly use fingerprints and facial recognition systems.
Biometric authentication improves convenience because users do not need to remember passwords.
Your face literally became your password. Technology really sets mile for security.
Multi-factor authentication combines multiple authentication methods together.
For example, using both a password and an OTP.
MFA provides improves security because even if one factor is compromised, attackers will still require another verification factor.
The three main authentication factors are something you know, something you have, and something you are.
Today, MFA is used in banking system, cloud platforms, and enterprise security systems.
Access control.
What is access control? After authentication verifies identity, access control determines what resources the user can access.
Authentication answers who are you, while access control answers what are you allowed to do.
Access control protects system by restricting unauthorized activities.
Different users receive different permissions depending on their responsibilities.
Access control prevents misuse of sensitive information.
For example, students should not access administrative financial records.
Organization uses access control to maintain security, privacy, and operational efficiency.
Without access control, one employer could accidentally modify
supports regulatory compliance and data protection policies.
Discretionary access control (DAC).
Disciplinary access control allows resource owners to decide who can access resources.
The owner controls permissions and shared settings.
Google Drive file sharing is a common example of that.
Yes, DAC provides flexibility but may create security risks if permissions are shared carelessly and uselessly.
Mandatory access control. Mandatory access control users strictly deployed security processes controlled by the system administrator.
Yes. Users cannot independently change
Security is commonly used in military and government environments.
These models focuses heavily on confidentiality and strict security enforcement.
Role-based access control sets permission according to user roles.
For example, manager access reports, HR accesses, employee records, IT administrators manage servers.
RBAC simplifies permission management in large organizations.
Yes. Instead of assigning permissions individually, permissions are assigned to roles.
Attribute-based access control grants access based on percentage, location, time, department, and employee rights.
Yes. For example, access may only be allowed during office hours.
ABAC provides dynamic and flexible security mechanisms.
These systems literally studies conditions before deciding whether to trust you or not.
Real-world examples. Authentication and access control are used in smartphones, banking systems, cloud computing, social media, and education programs.
Every learning systems you use daily depends on these security mechanisms.
Cloud computing platforms use advanced authentication and access control systems.
Different employees receive different cloud permissions based on their work roles.
This prevents unauthorized data access in organizations. Phishing attacks. Phishing attacks tricks users into revealing passwords or sensitive data.
Hackers create fake websites or emails that appears legitimate.
Users should always verify links before entering their credentials. Good codes and credential theft. Good codes attack repeatedly attempt password combinations.
Credential theft occurs when malware steals login information.
Weak password make these attacks more successful. Basic security practices. Important cybersecurity practices include strong password, multi-factor authentication, software updates, civilian permissions.
And please don't click suspicious links promising free laptops. The internet isn't that generous.
Future of authentication and access control. The future includes password-based authentication, AI-based security, and behavioral authentications.
Systems can now analyze time, speed, and user behavior patterns.
Zero trust security models are also becoming popular.
Trust nobody become an official cybersecurity strategy, technology, and user discipline model.
Authentication verifies identity by access control manages permissions.
Together, they form the backbone of cloud computing systems.
As the digital system continues to grow, strong security mechanisms become increasingly important.
And remember, if your password is still your birthday server, criminals already guessed it.
Thank you for everyone for listening.
Now I'm going to explain the poster. Access control and authentication. What is authentication? Authentication verifies who you are before granting access to systems, apps, or data. The first line of defense in cybersecurity. Authentication type: password-based username plus password. Multi-factor (MFA) 2 plus verification factors. Biometric fingerprint face ID. Token OTP smart card SSO. The authentication factors: something you know, passwords, pins, secrets, something you have, one token of card, something you are, fingerprint face ID. Zero trust principles. Never trust, always verify every request. This privilege, minimal access only. Assume it, monitor continuously. Micro-segmental network always. Verify identity plus device plus control. Authentication method adoption rate. Password is 80%, multi-factor authentication is 60%, biometric is 45%, SSO is 38%, token is 30%. Security breaches by logs, weak password is 25%, phishing is 28%, Stolen rates is 20%, brute force is 10%, and standard change is 7%. MFA adoption growth 2020 to 2025. The growth has been from 2020 to 2025 essentially double. Access control models, discretionary AC, DAC, plus sets the rules. And AC, systems enforces clearance. Role-based AC, roles define permissions. Attribute-based AC, attributes plus policy decisions. This is how the access control and applications are. 81% of breaches use stolen credentials, and 10.9% of attacks followed by MFA. They create a verification test for attacks. Next practices enables MFA on all critical systems. Use strong passwords, plus characters. Apply linked access control. Audit and review access logs regularly. Implement SSO forms, centralize their control. Authentication flow processes. User input, identity change, MFA verification, access control. Authentication verifies the user's identity, who they are, while access control authorization determines what resources they can access, what they can do together. They are fundamental security pillars commonly implemented in PIMFA, passwords and role-length permissions RBAC. Access control is the process of restricting access to systems, networks or resources based on predefined security policies.
Topic is something that affects all of us, whether we realize it or not. Access control and authentication.
Absolutely. From unlocking your phone to logging into your bank account, these systems are working behind the scenes to keep your data secure.
In today's episode, we will break down what access control and authentication really mean, how they work, their types, and why they are so important in cybersecurity.
And don't worry, we will keep it simple, practical, and interesting. Let's go start.
Let's begin with authentication. In simple terms, authentication is the process of verifying who you are.
Right. Think of it like showing your ID card. When you enter a secure building, you need to prove your identity. That's authentication.
Exactly, and it is in the real world, real digital world. Authentication happens when you log in using a username and password.
There are different types of authentication methods. Let's go through them one by one.
First, we have something you know, like password and pins.
Then there are something you have such as an OTP sent to your phone or a smart card.
And finally, something you are which refers to biometrics like fingerprint or facial recognition.
These methods can also be combined to create multi-factor authentication, which is much more secure.
For example, entering a password and then verifying with an OTP.
Then secondly, what is access control? Now that we understand authentication, let's move on to the access control.
Access control is about determining what you are allowed to do after you identify is verified.
So authentication answers who are you, and access control answers what can you access.
Exactly. For example, a student and a teacher may both log in into a system, but they have different permissions.
Types of access control. There are several types of access control models.
First is DAC, discriminatory access control, where the owner decides who gets access.
Then we have access control, MEC, where access is based on fixed security rules.
Next is role-based access control, RBAC. Access is given based on roles like admin, user, or role.
And finally, attribute-based access control, ABAC, which uses attributes like location, time, or device.
So why are these concepts also important?
Because they protect sensitive data from unauthorized access.
They also help to maintain privacy, prevent cyber attacks, and ensure that systems are user-proper.
Without them, anyone could access confidential information, which would be a huge security risk.
Of course, no system is perfect. There are challenges to it.
Yes, like weak passwords, phishing attacks, and stolen credentials.
Another issue is balancing security with usability. Too much security can make systems difficult to use.
Yes, that's why organization needs to design smart and user-friendly security systems.
Let's look at some real-world examples.
When you unlock your phone using your fingerprint, that's authentication.
When you access only your files and not someone else, that access control.
Online banking, social media logins, office systems, all of those concepts daily.
The future of authentication is moving towards password-based systems.
Yes, technologies like biometrics, face recognition, and AI security are becoming more common.
Access control is also becoming more dynamic, adapting to user behavior and risk levels.
Key takeaways. Let's quickly summarize what we learned today.
Authentication verifies identity.
Access control decides permissions,
There are multiple methods and models for both.
and together they form the foundation of cybersecurity.
That brings us to the end of today's episode.
We hope you found this discussion helpful and easy to understand.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to share it and stay tuned for more topics like this.
Until next time, stay secure and stay informed.
Thank you for listening.